Over here talking to y'all. Good morning, ladies. How art thou? No, you don't have to. I've literally been talking to y'all since 8:36. Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you ladies doing? Just been talking to myself. I've literally been responding to y'all and everything. Amelia wrote about the news right when I asked, "Do we have news today?" And then she wrote news consumer sentiment at 9. Like literally, I never realized I wasn't live because she replied to me. I just turned it off. All right, I'm out. Bye. No. Literally had to I had to get my big ring light went out, so I had to get this small one that could sit behind the camera. I was over here talking. So I have not taken any trades. I can't technically really trade. If you guys see at the bottom, my data lag is over a second. And I don't think I've ever had this issue with Trade Evade. This is usually an issue that I used to have with Rhythmic. Like where I would have to literally open Rhythmic R Trader Pro and reset the time or whatever, or resync the time. But ever since I had downloaded the Mindberg Global thing, whatever that network thingy is, I have not had issues like this. So I'm just kind of waiting until the data lag goes away, because with the way some of my trades are, I'm kind of afraid to attempt to trade when there's a 1 second delay. So yeah, I don't know. Good morning, Diego. How are you this morning? See what I say? I'm telling you, we were here. But how are you ladies this morning? Because I even replied when you said about the Dow running up, and you said that you got zero. I was wondering why you didn't respond. I was like, oh, I asked. I was like, oh, it just didn't, you just didn't have a setup or what? And I was like, I wonder why she's not responding. But I was just like, okay, maybe she's in the process of trading. I don't know. I don't know. But no, it's because I wasn't here. I was here, but I wasn't here. Oh, my bad. I have so much lag today. I can't even think about trading through. Okay, so maybe it's wait, Diego, are you on Trade Evade as well? Because if you're having a 3 to 4 second delay and you're on Trade Evade, and the fact that I have a 1 second delay that's just kind of sitting here, probably not a good thing. Maybe we should just close the charts and go to bed. Maybe, just maybe. Because I'm trying not to trade until that lag goes away. I don't want to get caught in nothing crazy. 40. Oh, right. You are. Oh, okay. Some exactly, Amelia. Some data issue again. My sister come back, check the setups that happens, and chill. Yeah, honestly, if this doesn't fix itself by 9 o'clock, I'm leaving. Because you guys know, like, the later it is in the session, the more I don't want to start like, I don't want to start trading that late. But I'm trying to give it time, and it's not looking too good. Not looking too good. It probably also explains why my charts were just so I don't know how, but my order flow chart got closed, and so I was trying to reopen it, and like after 3 minutes nothing was happening. So I feel like it's probably the data issue. Now I also could Well, I don't really care about order flow right now. I told you I'm trying to do this without order flow. Please. Please, God. Please, God. But yeah, I thought it was the order flow, but still got the data lag there. All right, data lag look like it's fixed. Only one who is living abroad. How are the babies? They're actually sick right now. The youngest was sick first, and he had a fever and a runny nose. This was Sunday because that's when I was supposed to do his hair. And that actually ended up, well, not him being sick was a blessing in disguise, but me not being able, or ended up doing his hair was a blessing in disguise because that was the day I started having the really bad chest pain or whatever from the neck strain. So he's fine now, but now the older kids are sick. 1, 2, 3, 4. But aside from that, they're still wonderful. More the babies. They all got like little phones. It's not like on a plan or anything. They have to be on Wi-Fi, whatever. But I talked to my niece like right before she got sick, and I was like, "You haven't called me yet." I don't understand. She said, "Well, I said you called me one time, but I didn't hear my phone ring for whatever reason. I haven't been hearing my phone ring." And I'm like, "And I called you back and you didn't answer." She said, "Well, I can't hear anyone when I call them." TT. I said, "Oh, okay." But yeah, why y'all ain't had no surprise visits? To suggest you do my hair, that'll do his hair. That's why I asked. Oh. We don't like chest pains at all. It was terrible. But yeah, they're doing good though. They are. My cousin said that when the baby was sick last month, he told his mom about I'm sick. I need to go to TT Amber house. Like, boy, your mama can watch you. But he know if he needed to come to my house, he absolutely could. But yeah, I'm hoping that they feel better soon though. I need to check up on them today. I think it's been enough days for them to start feeling better. This would have been a great trade if the zigzag wasn't like that. And there was too much volume in this push up as well. Oh, my knee, Jesus. It looks like a crypto coin. Diego. Speaking of crypto, I saw something. I don't know if this is true, but I saw something about Bitcoin being at 63,000 now. Is that true? Let's see. Dang, that's crazy. It's up to 68K right now. Before I started there though. Yeah, crypto can be so volatile. Especially like XRP. What was some of the other one? Ethereum. Some of those. All right, news in 20 seconds. MicroStrategy dividend stocks, all crypto. I wonder how they're doing. Is that the what is it? It wasn't MCT. M something ST. Was it that one? Is it MST? MSTY. Yeah, is it that one? That would explain why it was so volatile and why people were like freaking crackheads trading it. Mm. Mm-hmm. Come like a shiny diamond, diamond. All right, 15 seconds. Maybe we can get a trade in. Still only gonna trade these 2 accounts for now. Good morning, Paul. How are you this morning? I'm trying to tell you. I be paying attention, y'all. I do pay attention. We might joke around here, but I won't tell you a lie. Not purposely, at least. I genuinely think that some of them learned certain strategies, but then here's the thing. Once you make it your own, is it really that strategy anymore? Because some of them have completely deviated away. Like, try to tell you, it's all a money grab. That's it. That's all. What's up with all these god dang lumbar pullbacks? Hmm. I hesitated because I didn't like how the zigzag was already the right color. And I'm glad I didn't go for it. But I tell you what, this market's annoying. Look at how every time a reversal bar closes, it just shoo, shoo, shoo. That's not good. See, I doze off. I'm weak. I see Tina change the channel. They're stealing from other people. Absolutely. Applejacks is hilarious. Applejacks can't even listen to that man no more. That man is cuckoo cuckoo, okay? I promise y'all. So I learned who ICT was from Hannah Forex. I used to watch her channel back in the day. And she just used to rave about ICT. So I was like, you know what, let me check out his videos, whatever. You can never, you just never know when you can learn something new. Baby, I was just sitting there, I'm dozing off, and then he started going on one of his rants. I perked up. I said, yeah, I can't. What is wrong with this dude? I can't do it. I immediately turned that shit off. I said that'll be the last ICT video for me. First of all, it shouldn't take you 4 hours to teach me something. Not 4 hours in one video. Like, couldn't do it. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Seeing how how things are moving every time a reversal bar paints, I really don't think I want to even trade at all. I don't. Matter of fact, too complicated. You know what? I don't think so, Amelia. I miss her too. I always miss you guys when you guys aren't here, or if I'm away from y'all. It might not seem like it, but I swear. It's on her chest. Oh, Diego, not skirt. Y'all ain't getting nothing from me. It's funny how she want all of us to be her sugar mama and sugar daddies, but then we not even gonna be left in her will. It's crazy. It's crazy, I tell you. Real crazy. Come on, market. We created high and low. don't even like the way the market's moving. Something I have been paying attention to recently is like when I'm looking for any sort of pullback in the direction of the trend, if we're above the last rotation level, I don't take the trade, because that lets me know that we're above the last higher low, which increases the chances of us pushing, up, which is exactly what we did. That's the natural order of life, girl. I'm so sleepy, you guys. Like, so sleepy. Like, I really like low key, high key, low key. I really hope that next week is not so whippy and like super high volatility like this, personally. I mean, I can trade it if I wanted to, but I don't actually want to. Oh, that's gonna lose. That's why I'm on sim. It's like too, I don't know, but I don't like it at all. Tried to play off the, I really need to go this weekend and look back at the volume tick mismatches, because I used to trade them and I used to know what I like to look for, but I haven't traded them in so long I don't really know. Oh, well, I wasn't wrong. I was just early. More volume in the push down, less ticks. So that's absorption. But I think I needed this bar to be a higher volume bar, because then that led us into divergence, really high volume. We push up 57 points. Now that looks like a battle. Now this one I knew wasn't going to work out, because there was way too much volume in the push down, then way too much volume on the push up. That equals the sellers are working really hard, then the buyers have to battle with them to try to push back up again. That this combination almost always loses, no matter if it's divergence or pullbacks, but especially in pullbacks, it just doesn't work well at all. But I think that my brain is still in like information overload. So it's like certain things that I know, but I don't know if I still want to look at those things or not. I don't know what's important, what's not. I'm trying to like strip things, keep the most important things that can stay simplified, but I kind of like, it's just too much going on in my brain. That's why I'm kind of glad that, well, I ain't never glad that I was injured earlier this week, but it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because I was just able to take like a mental break, because it's just too much going on in my brain. Price of the break is going on. I also saw that they were canceling people's accounts for hedging. Some guy, I think I was in the process of sending this to you, Amelia, and then I just totally just got sidetracked. All right, there. What the fuck? Like, this is insane. Anyway, so some guy was like, "Oh, I took a micro something. What was the trade? It was a micro something trade that he took." And he was like, he took a micro on one account in one direction and a micro on another account in another direction. And I forgot how long he said he had his accounts, and he finally was at payout, and he was basically trying to blame Top Step for uh him getting his accounts closed, child. And everybody was like, I don't know if you know this, but you were hedging. What are we talking about here, bud? Yeah. So he basically was caught hedging and paid the price for it. And he was like, I didn't know this was an issue. Da da da. They're like, every prop firm is going to close your account for hedging, bro. Don't know if you know this. They are. And yeah, that was the end of that story. Yeah. Who went in the Super Bowl? I don't even know who's in the Super Bowl. See you, Diego. Have a great weekend. He's done this before. It sounded like from the email he posted. He doesn't like it. Yeah, exactly. And people were telling him that, like, you do know if you had your own account, you couldn't hedge like that, right? I don't know. I don't know. These people and their inability to follow rules and then have an issue with it is a little crazy to me. Just a tad. Just a tad. Um, oh yeah. I think it was just funny to me that, like, he tried to blame Top Step. Wow, I ended up taking that order off. At this point, I'm just... That's the one that works? That's interesting. I guess that makes sense. That is counter trend. And yeah, I guess that does make sense. Maybe counter trend, I need the exhaustion bar there. I'm telling you, if I could figure out the correct no interest reversals will literally start the bigger moves. It's like 265 ticks from the close of that bar there. But yeah, hopefully I can unjumble everything that's in my brain. Unjumble it this weekend because it's just too much going on. Way too much going on in my brain at the moment. And I'm not happy about it. I'm not. It'll be close. Man from trading futures, yeah. People complain about not being able to trade metals if you think you can do it. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what really, really bothers me with people in the trading space, right? Everybody jumps on these bandwagons and don't realize that when everybody's jumping on the bandwagon at the same time, there are people who are doing crazy, ridiculous things at the same time that you're doing things the right way, in quotations. Like, of course they were going to ban metals. Are we really surprised? Because we shouldn't be. I think with Apex you can't trade metals at all. There's a couple of other companies that have banned, I think you can only trade micros if I'm not mistaken, or you can't trade micros. I don't remember. But we shouldn't be surprised. at all, actually. There are people probably trading silver for 1 tick at a time, 2 ticks at a, like, we just have to remember that people are crazy. All right? Can we just remember that? And this is usually the divergence that creates a pretty decent sized move. That's why I tried to get into it. Yeah, that was a 27-point drop in like 7 seconds. I might keep going too. Yeah, basically, this is a divergence pattern. I really want to see if I can notice certain volume tick mismatches that set up a lot that work. So like anytime there's divergence, right, the last swing before my reversal bar will always be more ticks like in distance. But so you see there's 19.5 points up, but the last push down was 12.5. But look at how the volume is 484 versus 582. That means that this is a vacuum, like it's a liquidity run. And so as long as the volume stays low on the push up, that lets you know that it's a liquidity run, and then you just enter into the sell and boom, it's gone. Now, I don't like doing it at levels. Well, it depends. Not at rotations like this. But yeah, that's something that sets up a lot. But it has to be a divergence where it's a higher low to higher high or lower high to lower low. When it's this kind of pattern, lower low to higher high, no. Good morning, New. How are you this morning? I'm so tired. Amp increased margins on silver and gold anyway. Yeah, Trade of 8 did, at least on gold, I know for sure. I don't know about silver. It happened while you was in a trade. Did it kick you out? Well, I mean, no, if you already had the margin for it. That's crazy that they did it while you were in a trade. Bonds trading, you don't like it go. Exactly. The trading with silver 1 tick at a time. Same thing that we're doing. Exactly. Yep. And they know that what they're doing is going to end up getting everybody screwed up, but they don't care. As long as they make whatever money that they intended to make, F everybody else, they don't care. Okay, so yeah, these people are ruthless. Like these moves are just so volatile. Look at it. Look at that drop from VWAP. We just dropped 95 points from VWAP. Is that not insane? It didn't kick you out. Just trying to add to the one. Oh, I got you. I got you. Yeah, that's crazy. Everything is so violent. Excuse me. I knew if any with nothing. I drank the last of this water like probably 30 minutes ago. Good morning, VJax. Oh, that's so normal for me. You guys should be happy that I said excuse me. I normally don't. I'm weak. Damn, I was gonna get into... Yeah. I normally do not say excuse me. So be thankful. No. Checks it. Ay, ay, ay. I just need y'all to pray for me this weekend and that I can unjumble the things that are in my brain. Oh, I don't like that one. I know exactly why I didn't like it too. Look at this. Stopped me out and went. I think that's 79.85. As much as I don't want this volume tick mismatch to matter, I think it does. You see high volume on the push up compared to the push down, but less distance. So that shows some absorption is happening in there. Damn, I don't want to have to go back through and write those in. I really don't. I don't want to. But I might have to because I think it matters. Oh, great. It's 9:30. I go back to sleep. I'm reading this book called The Calculating Stars. It's about the east coast of the U.S. and we need to colonize Mars, and a woman leads the charge. Applejax, let me tell you something. One thing I'm not finna do is go to another planet, and I already don't like this one. I don't like what we did with this one. I don't want to go and see what they're gonna do with the next one. I don't want to know. Did you guys see that on what is it? On August 20, I think it's August 26th. No. Maybe it's August 13th of this year. We're supposed to lose gravity for like 7 seconds or something. And it said that like 4 million people or something are gonna die because of it. I don't know. I'm taking a break on Earth ending content. I completed the 100 series. Y'all remember when we were all supposed to die when we hit year 2000, Y2K? Y'all, I remember I was only 10 years old, right? And I remember just sitting there looking at the phone, waiting for time to hit midnight to see what my fate was going to be. Oh my gosh. Crazy times. This is the first book we're reading of its kind. Look at this. We don't have 9:30 news, do we? No, we don't. Just bar closing shit. 7 seconds a long time. Trenches, I swear to God. So I was looking at this podcast and the dude said, "What? It's just 7 seconds." He's like, "Yeah, but you gotta come down." And he's like, "Oh shit, you're right." So the guy's like, it's said to be that at least 4 million people are gonna die from this. He's like, "Why? You're just floating in the air." He's like, "But you have to come down." He's like, if you're in a car and you float for 7 seconds with the weight of gravity and how much it keeps us down, do you realize that you're probably going to die in the car? Or what if you're in a plane? You're going to end up in a plane crash. And he's like giving him all these different scenarios. He's like, "Oh shit, you're right." I said, "You know what I'm going to be doing that whole day? I'm be laying in the bed. Because if I hit the ceiling, but I bounce back down on my bed, baby, I'm alive. We good." Not oh now trench shorts. Samir 5. I was just in Lala. You were only 5. Oh, I feel so old. Thanks a lot, Applejacks. Thanks a whole lot. Y'all, I really think, first of all, if the ATR is this high next week, I'm gonna have to increase my Rinko size. That's number one. But number two, I really think this weekend I have to do something. When I tell you I do not want to do this, I do not want to do it. But I think I'm gonna have to. So I had already went through, and damn, I think I forgot to make copies of that one, so I'm gonna have to go through and do it again. I had already went through my data, my analysis sheet, and started writing some of the arrows for the mismatches, like certain colors, like this one. If I'm looking to buy right here, I need to see that there was a lot of volume in this push up compared to this one, but the distance didn't go far enough. So when you push down from that, that's a little bit different than if the volume and the ticks match the distance. Because this is showing that, like, hey, we probably reversed because of absorption. So you kind of want to look for something kind of specific on the way back up. And I think I'm starting to notice like which mismatches when I'm looking at the market, pre-market or pre-entry, I kind of know what I want the reversal bar to look like. But because I screwed myself up and I had stopped writing the mismatches altogether at one point. So I kind of hold myself. last weekend I did go through and I only wrote like two of the four possibilities of mismatches, and I think that all of them matter because even on that last trade that I took, actually I think every trade I took today was a mismatch. Um and the one that worked out the best was the divergence one that I already know like works out really well. But once I figured that part out, I think I'll be good. Cause like even here, I'm looking to buy. There's more volume here, less ticks than the last push down, but more volume. That lets you know that the sellers are being absorbed. So I would have more so preferred for the volume of the entry bar to be a lot higher to show proof that the buyers were truly absorbing the sellers to try to push the market up. And that didn't happen, and that's why as soon as I got in, it reversed, created divergence, and pushed. So I got a little bit of work to do. I'm a little annoyed because there's also something else that I've been looking at lately in regards to like delayed pushes. Like when the most volume is happening after a reversal bar. Like the reversal bar is supposed to generally be where the majority of the volume, like the highest volume bar in the swing, because that's where there's the most transactions between both the buyers and sellers because they're fighting. One is fighting to continue down, the other one is fighting to reverse it up, right? So because that's a 40 tick bar and all these bars inside are just two ticks, you generally, at least for pullbacks for sure, you want that reversal bar to be the highest volume bar, and when it's not, that typically causes issues because that means that there's a delayed response in who's trying to be in control of the market. Yeah, so those are just a couple things I'm gonna have to look at this weekend that I really don't want to look at, and I don't really have a choice. So I'm gonna be kind of annoyed this weekend, but I'm gonna pace myself, and whatever I can finish in a decent amount of time without like restraining my neck, that's what I'm gonna do. Whatever I can't get done is just not gonna get done, and I'm just gonna have to do this in phases, which I'm gonna do anyway just to protect myself. But I gotta figure out which phases are gonna be the most important and kind of go from there. We'll see. I don't know. The trades aren't showing in the P&L. That's because I took them on Sim. That's why. I just thought you didn't take any today. I just did it on Sim. Let's see. I forgot my Sim account doesn't show up there because I normally don't trade the Sim account, so it was just taking up space for no reason. But yeah, once it took to almost 9 o'clock for the data lag to go back to normal, and with all the volatility with everything, like I legit right now I'm in a space of information overload. So, to be honest with you, I don't feel confident or comfortable trading anything right now. If I'm being completely honest, I would rather take like a month break from trading so I can unjumble everything in my brain, because when you are a natural nerd and a brainiac and you start learning all of these things that help you to understand better what you see on the charts, but then you also have in your brain what you saw before you understood what you were seeing. And it's just too much going on in my brain. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think that like that's why I had almost, it was like 3 weeks, I think, where I didn't have a red day at all. But then I started having red days because I started learning the why behind things, and it just messed me up. I'm not gonna lie, it did. Um, so I'm not gonna be taking a lot of trades. Probably in the next week until I just start unjumbling things. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's very frustrating being in a state of confusion. And I know why I'm in a state of confusion, but I can't unconfuse myself yet, if that makes sense. Good morning, Poppy Cow. How are you this morning? We can clown. Oh, take a break. No, I'm not going to take a break, though. Do you have book map? It shows exactly where the large buyers and sellers are for absorption. Good morning, Parade. How are you this morning? No, I don't have book map. I do have an indicator that can do the same thing as book map, but it's not book map, but it does do the same things. Um, for me, because I'm scalping, I don't really necessarily need to see the large orders and stuff. And I have other ways that I can see them. But what I'm actually trying to do is uncomplicate my strategy, not make it worse. I've been trading order flow for well over a year now, and it can be helpful, but I think that I can also potentially see what I need to see without seeing the order flow there. And I really think that it has to do with these mismatches of volume. Even like I said earlier this week is when I started realizing, like, okay, let's take this swing for instance, right? We're in an uptrend. The buyers are in control. Okay. And we know this because okay, let's say that the market looks like this. And we just had this reversal bar down. Okay, well, we had a bigger impulse move, 35, almost 36 points compared to 16 points. Cool, that's fine. We had a shallow pullback from the sellers. So when we reverse, yes, I am expecting the market to push up with no problem, which it did. Now, in regards to divergence though, so looking here before this bar closes down, if the buyers are in control and not starting to be absorbed, what you will typically see is after this reversal bar and this volume here, there should be no bars in this swing that are higher than this reversal bar. Because again, this reversal bar is 10 points, 40 ticks, and these bars are 2-tick bars. Now, if price comes down, creates a wick down here, you know, whatever, but like in order for each bar to close in the direction of the swing, it only needs to go 2 more ticks than the previous bar close. All right. So when you start to see high volume bars happening after a reversal bar, that means that there's a level of absorption that's happening. Right. And so a lot of times you can catch the divergence that happens after, and look at how this is another way that you see that the absorption is happening, even besides looking down here. Look at how on this push up, there's 884 volume compared to 586, right? But we only pushed up 29 points versus 36 points. Now, but I knew this before even looking at the numbers up there because I can see it down here. So this is why, like, I had a thought process of going back to volume only, because I'm like, I don't really need to know the micro transactions of who's in control at the point of control in this bar, because it kind of, not that it doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't matter. Because whether the buyers are in control of the point of control in the wick or the sellers are in control, it kind of doesn't matter, because this is showing absorption is happening and a reversal will likely push you down enough for my scalp. I'm not asking for a complete reversal. I just need a certain number of points, and I would have gotten it before the next reversal up. Right? So but this here, the delayed response like that, that's something that I literally just realized this week, and I just learned it this week. And I had ChatGPT explain to me, like, in auction theory, what does it mean when I see this? Because I've been seeing it happening, but I didn't think it was relevant. To be honest with you, I don't know why I didn't think it was relevant. It should be relevant, but I didn't know. So, yeah, I've just been learning that. And so I'm in the process of kind of understanding how that alone can like screw up some of my trades and things, so that I can uncomplicate this, simplify it, and take order flow the hell on, because I'm over it. Used to do way too much when analyzing information overload. Simplify my approach and things got better. I still do a little bit. Exactly. And that's where I am, VJax. Like, for me, I do feel like the year and a half that I spent learning order flow, understanding order flow, I don't think it was a waste. I never feel like anything that helps me understand is a waste. It's just, I think that order flow works the best on on time-based anything that's non-price based. Because when you're using a bar type that's like fully price based, who's in control and all that other stuff of a reversal bar doesn't really matter. The only thing you need to really know is absorption happening, how to trade that, is a continuation likely, how to trade that. That's literally it. That's it. Like, even look how on this move up, right? After this reversal bar close, you see how what I mean, where this was the highest volume bar in this entire swing. So the buyers put forth the most effort to force the sellers to stop the swing down. And then it just was kind of like a whatever, like we're just going to continue going. So when this reversal bar happened, there was nothing in me that thought to myself, like, oh, I'm going to get a nice push down after this, because the buyers are still kind of in control. There's nothing that shows absorption is happening. There's nothing that's showing that they're going to slow down. Yeah, this little 1 bar reversal bar happened, but then look, we ended up pushing up another 29 points. So yeah, once I, like I said, just unjumble a couple of things in my brain, I will be fine. And yeah, then I can just kind of go from there. But right now, that's just where I am right now. Annoyed because I know too much and I need to get rid of some things, but I'm in the process of figuring out what I need to get rid of. That's the biggest problem right now. Like this right here was the divergence I was telling you guys about earlier, where like, all right, we create the divergence here. I don't really like the color of the zigzag, but it's okay because we hit support. But there's low volume on the push down compared to the push up, but there's more ticks. So again, that tells you that it's a vacuum, it's a liquidity run, and there's a high chance of the market, pushing up after this reversal bar. Now, this one was a delayed response. If you see, there was more buyer volume here, or there was more volume in like a fight here than there was at the turn. But one thing that I've been learning this week is that's okay as long as you're pushing into a support level that you're buying off of or a resistance level that you're selling at. And look what happens. The reversal bar happens and we push up 63 points. Same thing here with the divergence. Low volume on the push up, but there's more ticks. That's a vacuum. You push down 27 points. That alone, I could trade that alone and be just fine. Honestly, I could. But there's other setups that happen and I don't want to always just have to wait for that divergence or whatever. But if I can just find like those little small things like this where like, oh, yo, if this sets up, get into that trade. Don't worry about anything else that happens on the chart. Just look for these specific things. That's what I truly want to do. Like, I know that there's 3 different ways pullbacks can look. And I want to know that, like, all right, if we go from a lower low to a higher high to a higher low, what's the one thing that when this sets up, it's a high chance of giving me my take profit? Don't really care what happens after the take profit, whether we go up 100 points or 10 points. I don't really care. When that sets up, what is the best time for me to trade it? If a traditional higher low to higher high to higher low sets up, if this one thing sets up or these 2 things set up, take the trade. If they don't worry about it. Wait for the next one. When this particular divergence, higher high to higher high with the higher low in the middle, when that sets up, this is the one thing that you want to look for. If it doesn't set up, don't worry about it. Because the reality is, if I'm trading different pullbacks, different types of divergence, I'm going to get enough setups in a session, right? I'm not worried about that. It's just a matter of, I want it to be the like the best edge, the highest quality trades. What does historical patterns tell me like will work the most? And right now, that's where I'm just like, I'm kind of at a crossroads, I guess, because just 3 weeks ago is when I realized, oh shit, I've been defining structure based on the volume of the swings and structure has nothing to do with volume and everything to do with tick distance. That's it. That alone, me flipping that, the opposite way was so important. And I don't know why before a few weeks ago, I didn't even realize that that was even a problem. But I noticed now that that is my thought process. Like, okay, everything is tick based when it comes to structure, and structure tells you like what the market is doing at the time. And then from there, you might look at volume mismatches and volume of the swings and all of that other stuff. But it starts with tick structure, because this pullback of a lower low to a lower high to a higher low is not the same as this one. It's not the same as the other one, the higher low to higher low. It's not the same. And you cannot treat them the same, because the market conditions and what the why behind what we see on the charts is what's creating these different tick structures in the first place. So you cannot treat them the same. Even though with like a traditional pullback of the higher low to higher high to higher low, you would think like, oh, well, it's still a higher high to higher low. So what's the difference between that and a lower low to a higher high to a higher low? Like, it's still ending the same, but it started different. And that's what makes it different, because we just went from attempting to change to a downtrend, which we did from a micro level, a minor level, but not like the overall trend structure. So if we're going from a minor downtrend and flipping back to an uptrend, you can't expect that to yield the same results with the same like why behind what's happening as when the buyers were already in control, because we were already in an uptrend, if that makes sense. So that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm learning, I'm understanding, but now it's just about putting together what's important and taking away the things that are overcomplicating it that I don't really need. And we're gonna figure it out. We will. We definitely will. But I'm going to take a nap before I start looking at this stuff more, because yeah, it's gonna probably drive me crazy. But I kind of already know what I want to do as far as like the phases of it. I first have to finish, I'm probably about halfway done with marking all of the trades where there's like the delayed response that shows that absorption is happening. I have to finish that first. And then once I finish that, I need to go back and see and put in the rest of these volume tick mismatches, because they're important. And I'll probably end up finishing one this weekend, and the other one I'll end up finishing next week. And then hopefully by the following week, I'll feel like really confident and not confused and jumbled up and trying to figure out what matters and what doesn't anymore. Hopefully that's where I'm at. We'll see. But I thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you guys Monday. Bye.